Well, hello everybody. It's Sunday morning, and I was going to get in here and make Mother and I some gravy and biscuits. Well, I got in here and I thought, well, I think I'll use some of that gravy mix. Well, I didn't have any. In the freezer. I usually buy it a lot of times, but here lately I've been making it myself because it don't have all that shelf stability and all those crazy ingredients that I grab about all the time, having to deal with for our health. I know everybody's on the plastic kick and all that. Well, some of these ingredients that in this shelf stability foods, packaged foods, are 10 times worse than the plastic everybody's worrying about in their body. So it's better if I can make it, then I'm a lot better off. So I thought, well, I better share this with my friends. So I got in here and I thought, I don't know where my poultry seasoning is, so I'm going to have to make some poultry seasoning, and then I will make my peppered gravy mix, because that's one of the ingredients you got to have is poultry seasoning. So we'll just make us up a little poultry seasoning, and you can take this recipe down if you would like. And what I do, this will make about 6 teaspoons of your poultry seasoning. Now, if you want, this will be 6 times enough for this gravy mix recipe, but you can always put it, the poultry seasoning, in your small, let me see if I've got one of those little, just a minute, let me get one. I know that I have, I'll get one of the small containers. That's what we'll label, and we'll put our poultry seasoning in that, and then we'll have it for the certain things that we need. So let me get you that one out of the way. Hello, Mr. Cockadoodle Doodle-doo. All right, let me get this going here and get me some measuring spoons. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sage, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of sage just in my mortar and pestle. Now I'm going to take 1.5 teaspoons of my thyme leaves. There's one. Let's put a little half. I like that. Now this calls for marjoram when you're making it outright, and I don't have any marjoram. I don't know why I didn't have any marjoram, but I didn't. So that's fine. We'll just forgo it this time. Usually I have it. Let's do a 3/4 teaspoon of our rosemary. Now we'll have to have some nutmeg, so let me get my grater. Let's get a fresh nutmeg. I don't think I have a, here's a piece. I've got a piece. So we'll just get our nutmeg, our little grater, and we're going to grate a half teaspoon of a nutmeg. Or if you have nutmeg, just put your half teaspoon into your spice recipe. That's a half teaspoon, about right there. Oh, that smells so good, that homemade that fresh nutmeg. Oh, there's nothing like it, nothing like it. It smells up the kitchen like if it's pumpkin pie time or fall or whatever. Okay, now we need to put our black pepper in. If you want to, you can use this heavy ground black pepper, but I just have the stone mill ground black pepper. So we'll do a half teaspoon of our black pepper. Now this is just for your poultry seasoning. Okay, there's a half teaspoon of our black pepper. Now, let's grind that with a more pestle. If you'll grind this for the fall, then when you're doing your turkey and dressings and all those fall sweet potato dishes, you can use this. And it's really good to have it if you don't keep it more than 6 months. I like to do it about, if I'm doing fall cooking, I'm going to do this about August. Because then my herbs out of the garden are ready. And now if you put this in a container and put it into the freezer, it would, I imagine, would last 2 or 3 years. You know, I'm not sure. There's our poultry seasoning, all hand did, as they say. And we'll just clean our, I always pop that. That cleans out my mortar and pestle. So now there's our, it smells good. There's our poultry seasoning already. So we're ready for that. Now we'll continue on with our pepper gravy, see. That's the main thing. Getting that. Now you can make this, you can double it, triple it, single it, however you want to do it. But today I'm just going to do one time. And this will make about probably 3.5 cups. And all you add is tablespoons. So 3.5 cups. If you don't have a big family and it's just like Mother and I, this will last in the freezer. And I'll put it into a container, and it'll last a long while. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use my King Arthur all-purpose flour. And let me get my dry measure so I can get my, I'm going to put in 2 cups. No, just kind of put that off. I'm going to put that 1. Okay, that's 2. 2 cups of our all-purpose flour. And I'm happy with this King Arthur unbleached flour, and I like it. So now we'll do our 1 cup, our 1 cup of our instant, powdered milk. Just plain old powdered milk. You can get Food Club or whatever, whichever one you want. So we'll do 1 cup. One cup into our flour. Okay. Now then, we're going to take cornstarch. That'll be 1/4 cup of cornstarch. That will give it the thickening that you need. So 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Okay. Let me get a whisk. Whichever one I want. Whisk this, whisk that. I'm just going to whisk that. Okay. Let me, we've already, okay, we put ground pepper into our poultry seasoning, but you need it for this to give it the flavor. So I always put about a tablespoon into my gravy mix also, because you're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but each one of them has their own measurements, so it's going to work out okay. Let's get us a tablespoon of salt. Now you could use the celery salt if you're doing this for a different kind, or this is a peppered gravy mix for our biscuits and stuff, so we're going to just use our 2 teaspoons of onion powder, y'all. So onion powder, on 2 teaspoons. Now we go to 1 teaspoon of our homemade poultry seasoning. We just put that in there. Now we can put our lid on that and put that in the refrigerator or freezer, or if you're going to use it right off, then you don't have to worry about it. Now let's just mix this real good. And let them marry each other, as I say. Once you put them in your plastic dish container. So I'm just gonna get that out of there. Billie Jean. Let me get this cleaned up, and then we'll continue. I'm gonna put that on there, and then I'm just gonna shake it. Make sure it's really shook up. Let me get Billie Jean's mess cleaned up. I just cleaned this stove really good. But if there was not stuff on it, I wouldn't know what to do. Maybe one day in the future, I'll never be here to see it, but might have a self-cleaning stove top that just above paper towels on this, because that's the only thing that really gets it to shiny. One day I'm going to get a new one, a new stove, and I hope to go back to my I love my gas cooktop that had the big burners on it. Okay, so now we've got that done and that done. Let me get my let me clean my dry ingredient things off because I don't want them to get gobbled up. So I'll just put them back on my little nail there. And I try to get things kind of cleaned up because it's fast work on me and I don't feel like doing it. I'm doing fairly well after all those tests and things, but what little bit I can do as I go, that's just the way it is. Now I put those homemade yeast biscuits that the recipe's on the site for, I put those into the freezer. So when I want a biscuit, I go get it out and I nuke it, and that's just the way it is. Now we've got this melted. Okay, I think that's melted, mixed pretty good. Let me get one of my restaurant pans and let me get a restaurant. I'm going to turn that on, y'all. And get a little bit of butter. Get a little bit of butter. So I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter in this. That's about 2 tablespoons right there. So really all you need is your butter, because you can do this, your water, milk, let me get this kind of melting there. Okay, got that a cooking. I turn that kind of down, just let me get this other smaller whisk. Okay, now we'll take our gravy mix. Take our gravy mix and we'll add 3 tablespoons. Just 3. Three tablespoons. See, that made a lot compared to what you're going to use. So you just mix that around because that will. You want that kind of brown like a roux. Cook your flour down. So let that cook a little bit in your pan. We get some water out of our dispenser. That means I might have to put some water in there. Okay, we got 1 cup of water. You can do milk if you want to, but we're going to do our 1 cup of water. There's that. Now, just start stirring. We'll turn that back up just a little bit. I lift that up off of my Okay, when I get to this point, I'll add a half cup of milk. Because I like the white gravy. So I'll add a half cup of milk to it. You can leave it at that. I just add my half a cup of milk. Because I like good white gravy. Now I'll pull that on out and make it a good white gravy. If you want more pepper, which I sometimes do, because I like pepper, I'll just go ahead and shake me some pepper into that. You can check it and see about the salt. You have to season this the way that you like it, because I don't know how you or your family, how much salt. We don't need a lot of salt, so I just leave it as is. You see how that gravy's coming out, just no lump, perfect gravy. I'll just let it cook a few seconds and then it'll get thick. There it goes. There's no sense in y'all buying that gravy mix when you've got the stuff, or most of you have the stuff at home to make it, and you don't get all that old junk in it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn that fire off on that. Let's get us a little test spoon just to make sure. Since more salt. I wouldn't say a lot, but I'm going to put about probably half a teaspoon of salt, because that needs it. And as I told you, rinse this spoon off. Once you make that, you'll get used to doing it. I think after everybody puts that on their biscuit and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this recipe, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of the gravy. See, that's a beautiful gravy. It's a little bit thin, so let's do 4 tablespoons of the gravy mix. Let me check this out and then I'll tell you. I want to see. Let's see. Now let me rinse my spoon off you. Not that I do have to, because it's just long enough, but I've been doing so much for so long I do it that way. No, I think that might be okay once you get your and I'm real particular about my gravy, so it may be fine for everybody else, but for me, okay. Now then, I took these biscuits. Remember, these are the homemade biscuits that I'm going to put 2 of these. I'm going to put 2 of these. Ambulances. I'm going to put 2 of these in the microwave and just kind of that gravy, that's good to have. This is good to have. See, if I had I'll tell you what would probably be best, and I've done this before, is instead of, I'll just put 1 cup of milk next time instead of any water, and that will even it out. That's the way I usually do it. So I'm going to leave the recipe as is, and instead of doing the water, I'm going to do the cup of milk, and then that'll make the white gravy. See, that's getting thicker and already. Okay. So now let's check. They smell good, just like those fresh baked. Let me get those smell like they were just. Let me get one of my serrated knives. Fresh baked. Now this is easy for you mamas that have babies and you have time, don't have a lot of time. Well, I can understand it. So we'll take one of our biscuits. Now that's the biscuits that I cooked. Oh, well, I'd have to look back. Two weeks ago? No, not that far. Week ago maybe with the yeast. Make those biscuits. Then you put them in the icebox or freezer. And you see they come out still beautiful. They smell good. And I'll break something or tear it up. Let's see here. Let's get some of my gravy. And we'll pour that white gravy over that biscuit. Now you can use bacon grease instead of the butter, whichever you'd like. Now see, there's your biscuits and gravy. Let me get a towel, paper towel. Clean my work up. Usually I'll make a fried egg to go with that, but today I'm not going to make a fried egg to go with it. I'm just going to, we'll see how this does, okay? Well, I don't usually eat on camera, but we're going to do today. Just check this out. That's good. A little more salt. See, I told you. You just have to, a little more pepper. You have to adjust that to you or your families. And a good fried egg with that. Okay, though. I'll probably save this one for some butter and strawberry jam. So that's what I'm having today. And that'll be so much easier for y'all to make this gravy with a mix, and then you don't have to worry about it. So I'd say put the 1 cup of milk instead of your 1 cup of water. If you don't have milk, now go ahead and use the water. I've used it for years that way, but I like the milk. So that's what we're going to do. Is going to eat our country gravy mix on biscuits. We'll talk to you soon. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. And I wish you was here because you could have some gravy and biscuits with us. Bye-bye.